Hey guys, welcome to Approach the Nerd. It is our Arrowverse weekly recap, and we have a lot of shows to talk about. I have my spouse with me, River Park, for moral support because it's Arrowverse and it's that or a shrink. So yeah, my spouse is lovingly here to keep angry grandma from getting out of control because you guys know by now she can do that. So let me check my settings really quickly. Okay, I see we are. I always have to make sure my audio is working in StreamYard because every so often it'll just shut off. So I want to make sure we are all good. All right. So we have Supergirl, the final series. We have Legends of Tomorrow, and we have Batwoman to talk about. So let's start with Supergirl, the series finale. That is episodes 19 and 20. So the way I wanted to do this is I want to talk about the things that I liked, and then the things I was like, what the fuck? Like that's literally the categories we got going on here. So things I liked about the Supergirl series finale. Callista Flockhart is back as Cat Grant. I think this is one of my favorite moments of this entire thing because I have missed Cat. I loved her initially going right back to season 1. I think she left in season 2, calling, basically Kara Kira. Absolutely loved it. I love the homage to everything that is Cat. I love that Cat has decided to repurchase her own company because Andrea apparently put it up for sale because in this episode or these 2 episodes, Andrea grew a more conscience and realized that she, quote unquote, for herself was a shit person and decided to become a better person. That was the theme of all of this. Everybody's living their authentic and true selves. We'll get to that in a second. So Cat Grant, I effing love that. The one thing I was confused about, I could have sworn that she already knew that Kara was Supergirl. I remember her talking to Kara, and she knew for a while and didn't tell Kara. And the whole thing that Erica Durance's Lois Lane did in Smallville with Clark, she was doing this with Kara. Like, I know you're the superhero, but I'm not going to let you know that I know. And then finally, I thought she told her. Now, I could be crazy. It's been a while since I watched the first 2 seasons of Supergirl, but I could have sworn that she knew that Kara was Supergirl. So the whole revelation on the phone was weird for me. But again, I don't know if that's just my bad memory or just another example of shitty Arrowverse writing. So if you guys know, put it in the comments. I don't know. But I just thought that she knew. But Cat Grant coming back, giving her advice, telling her what she needed to hear. I loved it. I thought that was really, really cool. So love that. Alex and Kelly's wedding was, pretty much gave me the feels. Esme saying, we're married. Love that. No problem with that. Honestly, though, I made a note about this. The whole thing with their marriage vows, where Kelly tells Alex something on the lines of, you've always been level-headed. I kind of felt like that should be directed more towards Kelly because Alex is not level-headed. She's neurotic as fuck. And she was neurotic as hell in this episode and a little bit hypocritical in episodes 19 and 20. And I will point that out in the stuff I didn't like in a second. So I had to basically throw that under because I was like, that is really, really, really weird. All right. So other things that I like, Brainy stays for Nia. We even got a kiss because I swear to God, this couple, they're so in love, but they only kiss like once every 10 episodes. So I guess we finally got our kiss. I don't know if this is them trying to play up to the transgendered audience because, I'm sure you were excited about this. But it's like LGBT couple, trans character, we have a character that I'm guessing is either bisexual, pansexual, maybe, I don't know. Could be anything, but this couple, very, very cute, established couple, got 2-3 kisses, I think. I don't know. So we got a kiss, so that made me happy. But it also begs the question, so doesn't that mean the future is now effed? And it's like, it was this big deal about him going to the future, and now it's like, I decided to stay with my girl. It's all good. I don't understand that at all. Just thing. I did not like nor dislike this. I have questions. Kara deciding to reveal herself to the world is interesting in many ways because she did say, if I reveal myself, it might put people in danger. But she's also she's forgetting a few things. Number one, I'm going to go in the order of less importance. What happens now when you are hit up for lawsuits because you wrote articles under the guise of Kara Danvers and you're actually Supergirl? They can get you for how did you get this? How did you get this? Attain this information? Did you break and enter? Did you use your powers against somebody? You wrote stories about yourself. How factual are them? Do you have integrity now? You are now the editor-in-chief of Catco, but you wrote about yourself as Supergirl and you've been lying for all these years. That makes no sense in terms of journalistic integrity. It just makes no sense. On top of that, now that they know that she's Kara Danvers, they know that they can go to her house or apartment whenever the hell they want and be like, yo, Supergirl. I'm like, so my neighbor's being an asshole. Come deal with it. Like, I mean, they can roll on any of her family and friends. Well, she already was worried about that. But I mean, let's be real. Kara Danvers has a physical known address. So now they know where Supergirl hangs up her cape. And then did she not just out her cousin? Because didn't they know that Kara and Clark Kent were cousins? So they're like, if Kara is Supergirl, maybe Clark is Superman. This is fucking dumb. Sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Let me. I got River here. River will smack me if I get out of control, guys.
Is Clark Kara's cousin?
Yeah.
Known cousin?
Yeah, because he actually guest starred on her show. This is my cousin, Clark Kent. I mean, I just, like I said, I can't. I cannot. I'm like, that is what I say now when there's a plot I don't effing understand. I just say, I cannot. All right. I like that Kara and Lena they admit how important they are to each other. But we will discuss my Supercorp opinion on the things I don't like in a second. William finally got the respect he deserved. He got a reward, named after him. He had a beautiful, funeral. They reference him a lot at the end of the series. I also have a negative to this, which is also going to be in the things I don't like. So we'll talk about that. Jimmy's return. I loved the little team up with Kelly. I loved the little speech about them talking about how, his father would be proud of her. All of that was great. I liked the little OG, meeting between him, Wynn, and Carr, where they reminisce about being in that rundown building at Catco, the original Super Friends, basically. That all was cool. No problem with that. I love that they got Jimmy to come back. So no issues with that. Lena getting closure from Lillian was a great scene because at least she's getting closure from one mama. I mean, she obviously didn't get them for her real mom because her mother's dead. But what's interesting to me is that Lillian was like, oh yeah, by the way, I always knew you were a charmed one. Sorry, guys, a witch. And that's why I put talismans all over the house because your light, whenever your father would see you, your light was just so distracting, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, so what you're saying is you pushed her towards science and you put talismans around the house. So are you telling me that science is the Achilles heel of using witchcraft? Because if that's the case, then Macy over in Charm, she was destined to be fucked from day one because she was a scientist and she was a witch. So the logic behind that makes no sense to me because the moment that child moved out of that damn house, there's nothing blocking her powers. So why didn't she have one damn incident in all of the 6 seasons we've seen the show? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. That makes zero effing sense. But again, I attribute this to a rushed writing, style of the Arrowverse writing. It is the Arrowverse writing effect. That is what I call bad writing. So that's how I feel about that. And at least Lena has closure, and she understands now that her adopted mother, Mama Luther, knew she was a charmed one, and that's what I'm calling her. I like getting the information about the future DOA being a place that's more diverse and helps people, and also that Morgan is going to have a son with John. I have no idea why the hell Morgan was not in these episodes. I don't know if something's happening with the actress in real life. I don't follow her, so I'm not really sure. But isn't Wynn spoiling the future? And first of all, if the future is set in stone, then doesn't that make what Brainy told Nia complete bullshit? Because you're like, Wynn's like, oh, don't worry, in the future, blah, 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 blah. But Brainy's like, the future's not written yet. Well, which one is it? Like, which one is it? Like, why are you doing this to me? I'm sorry. Okay. Let's talk about the crap I didn't like. Mon-El. Why bother? He was a Crisis on Infinite Poop cameo. Was he not? What the fuck did he do? I'm going to take my cape and then I'm going to tell you, you're awesome in the future. You inspire people. Deuces. There you go. That's literally what Monel did in the episode. Why bother? Why bother?
Last chance dance.
He didn't even get a last chance dance. He didn't even tap anything. They could at least have like a one night stand. If you were going to make Supercorp happen, then at least have it with Monel. I mean, damn, everybody's hooking up. John's even having a future baby. I mean, that's bullshit.
Wonder Woman needed her boo and baby to be in the final scene of her movie.
Wonder Woman had a baby?
No,
you mean her real life husband and daughter? Yeah,
the real life, husband.
So is that what it is? Because she's married to Monel in real life, he just needed to be in there. It's his
last chance to get,
This is why I married this one. Brilliant. That's why Monel was really in it. It's because of marriage.
So they can have that, but that screenshot from that scene and frame it in their little living room and say, "Remember that, babe? Isn't that awesome?"
So sad. It's sad that you actually understand this and you're not even a comic book fan. Anyway, let's talk about Alex. I don't think I've ever wanted to smack Alex as much as I did in these last 2 episodes.
She was a mom.
I get it. I am a mother. We're parents. We have a child. We also have a dog. I have a special needs brother that I consider a child. I just don't understand. Let's talk about the hypocrisy, okay? I get that you are crazed and your baby is missing and you want to go all cray-cray for Lex Luthor and Nick Sleep for taking your child. But how the hell are you going to be like, I'm taking the totems? Now, be honest. Are you 100% sure, Kara, that you can save Esme? And Kara's like, well, now that you just put it like that, no. And so and Alex is like, that's what I thought. And so she goes off to go save her baby, right? Fast forward to the day before their wedding, after all the shit's resolved, she tells Kara, I believe in you. You've always gone down the right path. And I'm like,
because she's level-headed.
In what universe? No, she's not.
They just needed a win to show up a little sooner and tell them that in the future, Kara Danvers, Supergirl, whatever she's calling herself, does actually succeed. So you can calm your ass down, woman.
Alex should have her hero super friends license revoked because she basically just did what they tell heroes not to do. You put your family above the world, because Kara literally said, I saw a vision showing me that I am going to get my ass handed to me and the world's going to be destroyed if they get all the totems. And Alex was like, but Esme. I'm like, well, there you go. Drop your mic. So yeah, I thought that Alex's portrayal in these 2 episodes, unfortunately, she went out with not a bang, but she should have had a foot up her ass. That's how I feel about that situation. Though Esme is still adorable. Esme gets like brownie points and cute points through the entire thing. I love everything. She puts up with a lot of shit. I like it. She just broke the whole. So she's like, stay away from my fairy.
I mean, why is it that weak though that a child of 5 can throw it on the ground?
Oh, we'll get to that. Trust me, I got more stuff to say about that. All right. Okay. William died. He died protecting Esme. So when you see all of them there staring at his body, you're thinking, oh, they're all going to be in their feelings, right? Alex went from, that sucks, but Esme. Like Kara and John were like there with the body, like they had his body covered up, and she's like, another person that I love died. So Kara was affected by it. John was like, John. But I mean, everybody else was like, so what we going to do? And Alex was like, yeah, he sacrificed himself to save my child, but it ain't about William. It's about the fact that my child is missing. So fuck him. Whatever. You done. You're dead. Bye. I'm going to find my child. And what pissed me off is going back to the funeral is there was not a speech done by anybody about the sacrifice he made. Alex should have been up there effing saying shit about the fact that this man gave his life to protect her daughter, and nothing. Fucking nothing. And not only that, the reason I'm in my feelings about this, if we're going by Arrowverse writing, remember when HR sacrificed himself to save Iris in the whole Salvatore mess? Iris made a speech about him being her hero at his funeral. Not one fucking person said shit. I was like, wow, they're just standing there like this. Play pretty music. And everybody walks away, and they're like, he was a great guy. We'll make a reward for him in his honor. Yeah, that's cool. So Brainy's leaving. We got a wedding to get planned for. Peace out. I'm like, damn. Andrea was wanting more for William than anybody else. I'm like, this is bullshit. I'm sorry. The whole thing with William, out of sight, out of effing mind. So yeah, it was rushed. It was delayed. And it was actually, for me, again, the funeral was pretty. The music was pretty, but he deserved a hell of a lot better. And I think that is so messed up. So just saying, the goodbye scene between Brainy and Nia felt rushed. It felt not as emotional as it should be. This is an established couple, and they're like, I love you. Do you love me?
Yep.
All right. Good luck.
It's normal.
That's literally all I can say about that scene. It was it was so lackluster. It was like, she was like, do you have to go? And he's like, I'll love you, Nia, and I'll always love you. Okay, well, bye. All right, bye. I mean, damn. I'm like, what? No, please don't leave me, Brady, or none of that shit. I guess you could chalk it up to them being the most mature people in this universe. But at the same time, I really wanted more. Just something more from that scene, something dramatic. Give me some pretty music, some sakura petals flying around anime style, something, damn it. I'm like, yes, she got him back, which I still don't understand. But damn, like, why?
You needed Alex to be in that predicament.
If it had been Alex and Kelly, then it would have been, All right, so let's talk about Martian Manhunter. My love for this character has been going strong for years, decades, actually. In this series, I think the actor that portrays him is very good. I love his voice. I even love his British voice. I love his acting style. It is not his fault that the Arrowverse hates him. Because there's no universe. Once again, I say this. Whenever I say there's no universe, I say this a lot with a few characters, but I normally always trend this with Martian Manhunter. You tell me what effing universe Martian Manhunter grabs Mama Luther and she electrocutes him with her heel and he goes down. Why did you bother to touch her? Use your telepathy, dude. Like, subdue everyone. Tell them to sit their ass down and move on. Why do they continuously make this character so effing weak in the Arrowverse? Why do they take, I mean, honestly, outside of his ridiculous, according to people's, fear of fire, this is an OP motherfucker. Why do you make him so weak? I don't understand. I know you have to have Supergirl be OP and she can't be outshined by Martian Manhunter. And then my answer to that was you should not have had someone like Martian Manhunter in your damn show because he's always going to be OP. That man doesn't have to be near you to take control of your mind. That's what people don't understand. And I do not understand why he grabbed Mama Luther and she electrocutes him. And he's like, oh, and he stood up. And I'm like, I can't not suspend my disbelief on how fucking stupid that was. I'm sorry. That was dumb. That was really dumb.
How many times did they actually showcase his power to control minds? Like, I remember the one.
He does it a few times, but I mean, it's never really effective long term like it is in the comics and the animated series.
Like,
but
he is
whatever.
It's like a power card that they should be playing a lot more than.
Sorry, see, because Grandma was like, and I was like, bring her down. So let's just talk about something that obviously will not annoy me. Supercorp. Do you know what Supercorp is? For all my people that are in their 40s like we are probably a little bit younger, that was pretty much obsessed with Xena. This is Xena and Gabrielle all over again. The queer baiting was real on that show. Now, again, it came out in the 90s. This is a time where being queer wasn't in. I mean, I had to say that because it wasn't in. It wasn't a thing like, how we are now. We accept who we are now. We're not ashamed of it. We preach it. We make YouTube videos where we scream it. I do it all the damn time. But you didn't do that back then. Back then, you low-key shipped this couple. I was going to say something very perverted, but, you low-key, like, happily was with yourself over this couple because you knew that Xena and Gabrielle were a thing. And then there was no way to misinterpret how the writing was, the things they said to each other, the things they did. This is literally Kara and Lena. They are Xena and Gabrielle. The only difference is we are in effing 2021, not in the 1990s. They literally built up this friendship that basically rivaled most relationships on that damn show. And then what happened in the last scene? Kara friend zoned Lena. She dropped the friend bomb. Like, I was like, oh, I am not a huge Supercorp shipper, so I'm not going on Twitter and screaming from the crowds and the rooftops and declaring people's deaths. But I'm gonna tell you, everybody I've talked to, even people that like are lukewarm on Supergirl, they literally saw what the writers were doing, because this is probably the biggest example of queer baiting I've seen. And outside of Xena, which again, time appropriate, in the 90s, I get it. If Xena came out right now and they did this shit, oh, we'd be all over this stuff. They are stuck in the Xena and Gabrielle 1990s mode with these two characters. Neither of these girls are in a relationship. Neither of them have established 100% that they're only into men. All they really established was that they are better together. They make each other better. They're both going to be their most authentic selves together, but they can't be together. Or at least they open it up for interpretation, I guess. Like, no. I will say, though, it does tell me, it makes me sick to death that they hire LGBTQ plus writers, and we still get the same level of shit that we get if it was written by somebody who was not in the LGBTQ plus community. But that's Arrowverse for you. I mean, unfortunately, even people playing for our own team don't get it. So the examples of LGBTQ relationships are usually in the Arrowverse very U-hauled or just pushed to the side. And that's even true with Alex and Kelly. Yes, they had a lot more progress now because the series is ending. But how many times have you seen Kelly be left out of episodes and just be mentioned? They don't do that a lot with the heterosexual couples. So, like I said, it is interesting. And the whole thing with Supercorp, they got away with it because, again, it's the last season. It's the end of the series. They waited to the very last episode to let you know that shit wasn't happening. And I know there are going to be some Supercorp fans out there. There are shippers that are out there that are going to be like, no, that's not my ending. This is what I said is going to happen. But I mean, again, if you look at Kara and Lena from season 1 on to now, and then you look at every other relationship on this show, who has the most character development, who had the most relationship development, and it's always going to be Lena and Kara. They queer baited the fuck out of people, especially the LGBTQ plus community. And I feel bad. I do. That's how I feel. They are basically the 2021 Xena and Gabrielle that we didn't need. And I am glad to have Lena's character on the show. But I mean, again, how they handled that shit was stupid. And I will stand by that. So the friend bomb.
I wonder, though, like if Supergirl wasn't the headliner, if they would have allowed for a tiny little relationship, just like...
Oh, they'd be banging. Like they'd be banging.
I really feel like it's because she's the headlining character, even though, apparently her character actually is bisexual, so it would have been totally...
In the comics, she's slept with everybody. I mean, hell, she was even with Lex. So, I mean, yeah, it's not far-fetched. Kryptonians are not, it's kind of like if you watch Roswell, New Mexico, Michael said it best. I'm an alien. I'm fluid. Get over it. I don't have the earth constructs that you guys have. It's not taboo to us. It's just stupid. So, yeah, like I said, that's all the time I'm spending on Supercorp because, again, there's no point. There really is. Also, how do I say this? The plan to drain the sun and play God was cray. I even wrote this in the note, and I'm not even going to discuss how stupid it was. So it was so stupid. They even realized it was dumb, which is why this plan lasted all of 7.5 minutes. So stupid, not even going to bother talking about it. It was dumb. Dumb. There were better things they could have done with that 7 minutes, like more character development, maybe more William a little bit more, but they chose to have this stupid asinine plan where Kara is like draining the sun and everybody on the ground's like, why are you doing this, Supergirl? Why? It's like...
And that made her realize.
In that moment, she's like, maybe this is wrong. Not Lena telling you you're playing God. No, just maybe I shouldn't be doing this. Maybe we're wrong. Brainy from the future should have been like, that's stupid. I'm not to do that shit. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm like, so yeah, the super friends need super training. Like in HR relations and human development and human communication, behavioral, and lots of shit. Just saying. Just saying. Nixley is probably the biggest effing tragedy of this whole damn season. That she did not deserve to be sent back to the Phantom Zone with Lex. First of all, Nixley and Lex's relationship, if you're going to have everything blow up because Nixley turns around and says, you can't, nobody's ever going to love you because, you know, mama got in the way, that really tells me their relationship was not as strong as Lex was boasting in the future. He turned like that. But I mean, this is Lex. Lex Luthor is a narcissist. So of course he's only going to love himself. Yes, he was entertained by this chick. Yes, she was powerful and everything he wanted. And maybe the sex was good and blah, blah, blah. But guess what? She don't know you. That's the future her. And she don't give a $5. And so they wasted so much time on that relationship just to have it end like this. And then having, you know, them fight with parts of the stone, and then have which I think is still stupid, have Lex Luthor open the portal to the Phantom Zone, knowing there's not a way to close it. And then Nixley gets put in the same bucket as Lex. And if you really think about Nixley, yes, Nixley has done some bad things, but she initially just wanted to take the All-Stone back to kill her fucking crazy, horrible ass father, who basically imprisoned her and promoted her brother for doing the same damn thing. And she even protected Esme from Lex, who just was going to cut her open and take the damn stone out, or the totem from her. And what does she get in return? She gets sucked right back into the effing Phantom Zone. They have redeemed characters in the Arrowverse who are a hell of a lot worse than Nixley. That is sloppy, that is lazy, and that was effing stupid. I'm sorry. They could have done something else with Nixley. Nixley could have been helped. Nixley has trust issues because everybody portrays her. That's it. That is why she's like this. Everybody that she has put faith in turns around and literally treats her like shit. And after a while, you get that way. It's like, why do I give a shit? But even still, she told them, I want to take this back to the 5th dimension. I'm not trying to stay here with you. I'm not going to do shit to Earth. I'm going back to the 5th dimension. A dimension that doesn't have shit to do with you. I'm like, it has nothing to do with you. What the hell? Like, oh, Lord. Like, Lord, the writing on this episode was all over the damn place, guys. I know there are people out there that are going to be in their feelings. I think I lost 6 subscribers over my last Arrowverse review. You know I don't care, guys. I don't, because I'm going to be honest. I do honest reviews. This is how I feel. I think it's full of shit. There are redeeming things. Like I told you stuff that I did like, but I mean, I cannot stress to you that this is a network that has taken on comic book series, multiple comic book characters, things that people are familiar with, and then they write themselves in the plot holes. And instead of admitting it and trying to find a creative way of getting themselves out, they just take a shit on it and either revamp it or just continue down the same plot hole. It just doesn't make any damn sense. And this, they were like, Supergirl's ending. Let's just go ahead. We don't really know how we're going to resolve this, but we know that Kara needs to tell everyone she's Supergirl and not be Supergirl or not be Kara anymore. Just be Supergirl or vice versa, or one and the same, merge your two people without any side effects on anything else in the universe whatsoever. Nobody else will be bothered by this, even though we're still on the same prime Earth. And this will definitely affect everybody that she's been around and everybody that Supergirl knows. And now you're going to be looking at Dreamer, wondering if she's actually Nia Nall, who works at, there. Is Nia going to have to come out now? Because if Kara came out and Nia's like, nah, man, me and Dreamer are 2 different people. I'm going to live my life. Is she going to be looked at negatively? How is that going to affect everybody else on the team? Like, obviously, John doesn't matter. He's a Martian. He don't give a shit. But Nia has a human persona, another alter ego. How is that going to fly with what Kara just did? Because that puts a lot of pressure on this character now to also come out as Dreamer. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm also working for Catco. My name is Dreamer. You know me as Nia Nall. I'm like, oh my God. And Clark's sitting in Smallville saying, mother, Lois, this bitch done got on TV and sold us out. Woo, guys. Yeah, I think I'm pretty much burned down on Supergirl now. I'm going to go through the other two and then I'll go back to your comments. I think that's easier. Legends of Tomorrow. Constantine is back. Technically, it's Dr. Gwen Davies. He's nuts. Like, he's neurotic as hell. I actually like him. I like that he has somebody he's trying to save. He has a love he's trying to save. If you think about this, it's almost the same storyline that Constantine had when he was trying to figure out how to get Astra back. So they have a lot in common. I love that throughout the episode, everybody was trying to guess who he looked like. I'm like, what does he look like to you? I'm like, so no, I did like that. The thing about Legends is you can't take it seriously. I say this every week. The only time I ever get upset with Legends of Tomorrow is when they try and force it to be the other, into the continuity with the other Arrowverse shows, because it's never. I mean, be real. Can you see any of them rolling into Gotham? You can't. So when they put them all together, it just becomes this stupid thing. Because in Legends of Tomorrow, they're known to break the fourth wall, even if you don't realize it's happening. They don't do that in the other shows. The other shows take themselves seriously, even when, honestly, some of them shouldn't. But they take themselves very seriously, and Legends just, they don't. Yeah, they have serious moments, but they don't. So I mean, yeah, Legends of Tomorrow for me it's always a different thing. I almost hate doing it in an Arrowverse review because I feel like it's a separate thing. But anyway, so Dr. Davies, basically what I liked about this episode is how initially he did not want to go with Sarah because Sarah does what she does best. She creates footprints, even though Ava tells her not to create footprints. It ends up getting shit messed up. In this case, it actually ended up erasing Ava and Gary because there was no time bureau, because the time wasn't invented. So you don't have time travel not being invented. You don't have a time bureau, which means Sarah never met Ava or Gary. And that did not fly well. I think one of the overall things I loved about this episode was Sarah and Ava's attachment to each other, even though they're married now, is even stronger to me, because the scene where they went to go get pizza, what was really interesting to me is that, sorry, let me actually block somebody because a bot just got in here. I apologize. That's very dumb. Like, nobody wants to strip on your webcam, dude. So anyway, the thing that really got me is two things. They went to that stand to get the pizza. Now, he basically overhears them talking about the future. Like, of course, Bayrod's talking about what pizza's made out of during his time in the future. And then Ava, who shocked me, it shocked me that Ava was the one that did this, because Ava's always the one that's very cautious about not telling everybody where you're from. She's always the adaptable one. So for me, like, her saying, oh yeah, and I wish they had pizza shacks, and it's like, what? Ava? And that he heard that, and he heard them bantering, and he pulls out his rifle, and of course he shoots at them. And Sarah knocks Ava out of the way and takes the shot because she knows that she can't, die. But I just thought it was really interesting that Ava was the one who was breaking her own rule. And she goes right back to telling them not to do it again. But it was like, you did it. Like, you literally were comfortable enough to talk about the future out in the open in the 1920s.
They also didn't do the, like, you don't remember anything.
They can't. They don't have them. Remember? They don't have them anymore because they're stuck in the 20s. They don't have anything. So yeah, they got to be really careful. That's why they keep messing up the timeline, because they don't have ways of going back or erasing anyone's memory. So they have to be extra careful. So yeah, but I do love how Ava and Sarah, the whole thing with them. To me, Ava and Sarah is one of the couples that they kind of got right, which is kind of ironic that it's between now a half alien hybrid and a woman who technically is a clone of a bunch of other Avas. Is literally the only, an artificial person and a half human, half alien are the one LGBT couple the Arrowverse has gotten correct. There's irony there, right? There is irony. All right. But the entire episode basically is trying to get Edison, who's in this episode, to basically get back the plans from Edison, so that they can get the time machine built, so that Sarah can get Ava and Gary back, and they all can travel back to the future. Simultaneously, we still see Spooner, Astra, and Gideon. They're walking. They don't know how they're going to get to New York in time, because at the rate they're going, it's going to be 2 weeks before they get there, and they have to be there like literally, I think, that day. And so Astra takes this rock and does a spell and makes it a love spell, or good luck rock, or whatever. And so when Spooner has it, stuff starts going their way. And I guess this is probably an example of the power of positivity because it does seem like that rock works. The first guy they end up with, an older guy, something happens with his, I think it was the belt on the car or whatever, something burned out in the engine. And so, of course, Spooner's like, I can't fix it. So then they hold the rock again. And then another guy comes, and it happens to be this race car driver who I'm pretty sure is established in time. I'm not a big race car, fan, but his name is Cannonball. That's his driver's name. And so they talk to him, they banter, and then he's like, hey, how about you guys get me to the highway and you can ride with me? So then they got a ride going to New York. The funny part of that was eventually this guy on a bike, like they pull over because Cannonball has to pee. He goes off to pee. Astra and Spooner get out to stretch their legs. Gideon's asleep in the backseat of the car with the rock. And this guy just comes by on a bike, jumps in the car and drives off. And I'm thinking, why the hell did this guy leave the keys in the ignition? A bunch of them. Minor point. I guess he just really had to pee. He drives up in the car, and Cannonball is so hardcore. He's like, I'm not going to miss my record. He takes the thief's bike. And he's like, I still got time to make it. I'm like, damn, that's dedication. But that also put them in a pickle because now Astra and, Spooner have to figure out how to stop. They have to try and figure out how to stop literally the Lillians from dying. And so they take it upon themselves to black out the city. What they didn't know is that Gideon woke up from the backseat of the car and just literally hits the guy in the head with the rock, drives there, runs. She power runs. I've never seen running like that. That's like Bionic Woman type running right there. I like the Flash when he runs because it's always funny to watch Barry run. She runs down to the city. She gets to where they are probably faster than the Flash, and ends up not only stopping it. By the time Astra and Spooner get there, they're all having it hanging out, talking about it, and oh yeah, you guys almost died. I thought that was really funny. That was really funny. That scene. Gideon. I need her to stay in this series because I really like what she adds to the team. I don't know why. I really like it. So yeah, crisis averted. They do manage to get this chip that they need, a part that they need that makes, I guess, a time machine safer to travel. And it's actually in the Hoover bots that they kidnapped last episode's brain. Zari 1.0 is back, and she was basically having fun programming him and telling him what to do. Unfortunately, it led to him having too many commands in his head, even though I thought she deleted some of them. I guess it didn't stick. And he ends up blowing up in Edison's office, therefore killing Edison. So now they've killed Hoover and Edison. But it's okay because the other Wave Rider that they still don't know the origins of, which more than likely is Bishop, of course, because we see the trailer for next week and he makes a Wave Rider. It's not pretty self-explanatory. He's creating android copies of all these people, influential people in history. And so they already have an Edison clone, or android clone, should I say, which is interesting. I don't know why he just didn't make a series like Ava's, just make a bunch of Hoovers, bunch of Edisons or whatever, but I guess maybe it's a time crunch. I don't know. But so I do love, and maybe I'm just in the minority here. I do love what's going on with Zari 1.0. So Nate had this whole commitment conversation with Gary. It kind of continued in this one. Gary's trying to nudge him into basically discussing his relationship with Zari. He's shipping them, basically. Gary is shipping Zari and Nate. Zari 1.0 and Nate. What's interesting is that Zari 1.0 doesn't want to leave the totem. She found a community. She wants to live there. So they're all in the pocket dimension, house that John owns. And of course, Nate's like, we can both live here because it won't make, Bayrod die. Zari 2.0 can still exist. And we have this space. And so, basically Bayrod's head won't explode. And she's like, oh, cool. But in reality, she doesn't want to live there. She wants to live in the totem, and she wants Nate to move to the totem too. That is so strange. Well, and then on top of that, what's going to happen if Zari 2.0 wants to live in the totem? I was like, both Zaris want to live in the totem community. And it's like, will we just not have Zari anymore? And then will Nate have to give up? Because I kind of feel like every male almost that leaves in this series, mostly it's for a girl. We know that the professor left for his wife and his grandson. We know that, of course, Ray left because of Nora. I kind of feel like it's implied that Rory left because of Kayla. So more than likely, if Nate goes off the show, it's going to be because he wants to be with Zari. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if he's going to leave though. So I don't know. I don't know what Zari made it clear that it's not happening now, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with that because they love each other, but they both have commitment issues and they're not good with dealing with their feelings. So I don't know what's going to happen, but Zari, I mean, she said she likes living in the totem. She found a community and she's happy there, which tells me she does not want to come back to Legends.
Yeah, it's like you don't have the community with the Legends, is what you're saying. Or you have a better one in your totem than the Legends are, which is kind of saying you guys are not my friends. In the same way that I have.
Yeah.
In my
which is weird.
It is weird.
It's very weird. Like I said, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it feels like being a legend is a curse as well as you get a family, but then you split up a lot. I don't know. Like right now, Sarah is the only OG one left from the original Arrowverse and the original Legends. There's no one left but her, which has got to be weird for her, you know. And then, as a matter of fact, I kind of feel like Sarah from Legends and the show Legends and Barry and them from The Flash are the only ones from the Arrowverse. If they didn't have these two shows, it doesn't even need to be called Arrowverse anymore. So yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting. But yeah, so yeah, I know, right? They do end up going forward through time, but they don't end up where they think they end up. And if the preview is any indicator, I didn't look too deeply into it. I kind of feel like they upgraded from the 20s and now they're in Nazi Germany. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know what went wrong, but they are not in the future. So it's interesting. I had some observations I've already talked about. I love the fact that Bishop was missing again from this issue. I don't know if it's just me. The character gets on my nerves to the point where I don't like listening to him talk. And I feel so bad because I'm sure the actor's a sweetheart, but like he just annoys the shit out of me. So whenever I see Bishop, it's just like, I'm like, really? Do we really have to have more scenes with him?
It's good acting.
I mean, I guess maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know. He just seems very, I don't know. But the overall theme, besides the fact that we got to see how lovey-dovey and dedicated and overprotective both Sarah and Ava are of each other, we also get to see the BFF ship that I am shipping, and that is Astra and Spooner. And I said BFF ship. I am not trying to get them to be, just because I'm queer, I don't have to have everybody that's same sex fuck each other and be together. I'm putting it out there. I am not telling them they have to be a couple. I'm just saying that I really love the evolution of this friendship, because they do this friendship as supportive friendships, not as queer baiting like on Supergirl. It's completely different. That's Xena and Gabrielle. These are actually two women who were very alone and actually found friendship in each other because they had a lot in common. They both lost their mothers. They both were ostracized and lived on their own. They both had to do a lot of bad stuff. Well, not really bad, but like Astra did some bad stuff, but Spooner did some things to survive that was not normal. And, just having all of that in common in itself, and both of them coming into magic in a sense. She's an empath with pushing powers, and Astra's a witch. They have so much in common that it's almost like they're sisters, like sisters from another mister. So I really love Astra and Spooner's friendship, and I really want that to continue. I think they are really funny together. I love when they argue. I love when they make up. I love when they banter. They don't like talking about their feelings either, but they do with each other, which I think is interesting. It's very obvious that Spooner is the only one that can calm Astra down, and Astra is the only one that can actually make Spooner motivated because of the whole rock thing. She actually did the spell to make Spooner feel better. And that's not something Astra would ever do. I mean, the girl was raised pretty much in hell. I mean, I love their friendship. I think it's awesome. So yeah, I hope they don't mess that up. That's the one thing that'll make me mad about Legends, because Legends for me is a safe show, because Legends, even when they do things that annoy me, for the most part, it's so campy you can't hate it. It's like hating Firefly or Serenity if you watch that series. You just can't do it. So I love Legends. And like I said, we'll see what happens. We all know it's Bishop's endgame. We all know Bishop is not going to win as Legends. But I want to see what damage is done along the way, because he is a very formidable villain, because he's so smart. He is from the future, and he's like their version of Lex Luthor in a way. So Yeah, and he definitely modified Sarah in a way that I don't think can ever go back to normal. So yeah, yeah, and yeah, and yeah. So let's talk about Batwoman. Uh-oh. So how should we start this? It's Professor Pig. That's what we're calling him, Professor Pig. He's the ultimate butcher. He didn't just butcher animals, he butchers people, because Jada Jet fired him. And apparently he lost his job, his marriage, went into debt, a debt collector. So he thought a good way of basically combating losing his job was by killing people. I mean, that tracks. It's Gotham. Why not? Some things that were interesting. Alice and Sophie having a movie night. That's interesting to me. It's like literally watching anime with Mike Myers in a way. It's like, hey, you seen this show, bro? It's called One Piece. Stupid. I'm like, why do they continuously put these characters in these forced situations for our benefit? Because we don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't really care. Again, I do think that Alice has done some horrible stuff. I think that she has very inconsistent writing. One episode, she's like, I am damaged, and and she has been damaged, and she's had a lot of stuff happen to her that they don't really take in consideration. But at the same time, she is slitting people's throats. She did leave that little girl down there in the Killer Croc episode. So then you're like, Alice, what the fuck? Inconsistent writing. But I'm sorry, having her literally on the couch watching movies with Sophie in the apartment, like actual effing roommate. How messed up is it that they act more like roommates than Ryan and Mary do? Just throwing it out there. Yeah. So let's just go through this episode. So, and then I'll talk about some stuff. So basically, Jada invites Ryan to dinner, which of course is so she can basically tell her to back up off her family and talk shit, because she's already attacked her through Wayne Enterprises or Wayne Industries, whatever the hell we're calling it. And of course she went, and she brought backup. Now she told Mary, I'm bringing backup. So you would think she would bring Mary, because Mary is a socialite. Mary's a billionaire. Mary has gone to lots of dinners. But who did she take? Who did Ryan take, guys? Hashtag Bat Chaser. Yes, she took Bat Chaser with her. That is what I'm calling Sophie now. It is not Sophie's fault. It is the writing team's fault. Sophie is a very good character. They are just character assassinating her. So she is now what I said she would be in season 1. Because again, I am Arrowverse writing psychic. She is hashtag Bat Chaser. So she took Sophie, and we had to endure through this whole episode googly eyes. Ryan basically telling Jada, oh, and she's the kind of person when you're dying in their arms, she holds you close. I'm like, oh my God. All right, what are we doing here? We're doing a fanfic, aren't we? This is a fan fiction writing now. The scene where they're fighting and teaming up together, and they have each other's back, and they, it was just. So anyway, long summary short. Professor Pig breaks into the dinner. He gave everybody like this kind of paralytic type drug so they can't move hardly, which is very interesting because they had a girl that was with them. I don't remember her name. It was Zoe or Chelsea or something. She came in with Marcus, and she went to the bathroom, and she was the first to get hacked, which is really weird because he really was chopping her. But when you saw her, she was only cut here. So I was like, it's a lot of hitting in one spot. It's accuracy right there. But when she went to touch the water, she already couldn't use her hands. But yeah, Ryan and them, for plot purposes, they got to move a lot with this agent. I know they didn't drink a lot of the wine, but again, this girl went and threw it up. And so I don't know. I kind of feel like that entire thing was weird. But that's just me. So there's a panic room. Jada had one installed in her house, in her closet. They all make it to this panic room with, Marcus, Sophie, Jada, and Ryan. Marcus and the girl had crashed the dinner. I don't know how he found out about it. No, I didn't know how I found out about it. The professor told him. Because he was going to kill her, just Marcus to get back at Jada, but then he realized that Ryan was also a daughter, so he's going to kill her too. So they go into this panic room, and Sophie's in her feelings about her sister, and Jada. The entire episode, Jada's like, "I didn't know they were going to do human experimentations. I didn't know. They made Jada go from being somebody who potentially would have been a very good villain to being misunderstood. And I had my reasons for doing this. And I'm going to relate something very soon that makes me prove that actually adds on to my case that Ryan is the next Black Kate Kane. But we'll talk about that in a second. So they're dealing with all this stuff in the panic room. They have no way of calling for help. Eventually Ryan has to venture downstairs to get the EpiPens because Marcus drank a lot of the wine. That's where the drug was. And he starts seizing. So she has to go down, stairs. And of course, Jada's distracting Dr. I'm going to call him Pigman, by talking to him through like the intercom. He kind of figures that out. Well, Ryan goes and gets in the basement after making some noise in the kitchen. And she can't reach the EpiPens because she's only 5'4", So, I mean, Sophie should have fucking gone. I'm just putting it out there. Sophie should have gone to get this. There was no reason for Ryan to go down there and get this shit because she could not reach this, okay? She had to knock down the whole damn shelf.
But why couldn't she use something long to... There were long things.
Why? No, don't be asking logical, common sense questions in Arrowverse already. No, that's not what we do. No, I know it is, but I'm telling you, that is not.
I mean, I guess nothing was really up high in her camper van, whatever.
I guess not.
She didn't have practice, I guess.
All I know is I'm 5. I'm 1 inch taller than Ryan. So are you. We're the same height. There's no way we couldn't reach that shit. I would have looked at him like, where is it? Downstairs. I put it up on a shelf. Well, damn. Like, how the hell did Jada get it up there? I mean, so yeah, long story short, we knew Ryan was never in danger of dying because she's Batwoman. So it's always going to be unrealistic for me for her to be in a seriously life-threatening situation, especially when the guy came downstairs, found her on the ground. She couldn't reach the EpiPens. I guess she hid one, but she didn't know if he was going to chop her leg off, chop her arm. Why didn't he do that? Why didn't he just be like, I'm going to take this arm to your mama and see if she'll open the door now? Like, with your body bleeding out. But no, he just flings her over his shoulder and is like, I got your daughter. I'm like, these villains aren't trying again. They do not try. They aren't trying. Anyway, long summary short. She jabs herself with adrenaline. Sophie does too. Everybody starts jabbing, they jab Marcus, blah, blah, blah. They have this big fight. There's this cute little team up with Sophie and her bat chaser and yada, yada. Everything's great. I'll get to Mary and Alice separately and the whole thing with Renee in a minute. Let me just stick with Jada, okay? I got questions. So it's revealed that the experiment, to basically modify, Mr. Freeze's technology is to basically freeze Marcus, because Marcus went on a field trip or some shit and Joker got to him and used his buzzer on his head and zapped him with electricity. And now what happened? Ryan has her own Alice, because it wasn't enough that she had Batwoman identity, the Bat team, her apartment, her club, now the acting CEO of Wayne Industries Enterprises, whatever the fuck we're calling it, her girlfriend. But she also has to have her own effing Alice too. Her brother is also a sociopath.
And they're also doing great things for the image of people of color.
Oh, they're
criminal things.
They're great. So my second question. So Marcus is mixed like me. His father is white. And then Jada implied that she was protecting Ryan, and that's why she gave her away. Does that mean that they have the same father? Because if it wasn't an affair, and the only reason she gave her daughter up and pretended to be dead was because she didn't want Marcus to potentially kill her, which that little boy was fucking crazy, so I could see that. Does that mean if they have the same father, that Ryan is mixed? Question mark.
Was she married before?
So then doesn't that make Ryan Wilder not the first black Batwoman, but the first biracial? That's going to go over well.
Does she know who her daddy is?
Does
does
Jada know who her daddy is? I'm just putting it out there because if she only gave up her child to protect her from her other child, that tells me that they have the same daddy. That was not an affair. She didn't give her up because she was ashamed. She didn't give her up because she cheated on her husband. She gave her up so her other kid wouldn't kill her. That's how she made it sound.
Well, I mean, I guess we just don't know if, like, I don't know.
That's the problem. We don't know.
Because his daddy is...
It's called Springer. All right, so let's just jump over.
His daddy was in his life the entire time.
Well, his daddy, Marcus actually ended up putting peanuts in his dad's sandwich and laughing about it while he was recording it.
Gap? Like, who's first? And
I'm assuming she's younger than him. Because that would make more sense. I mean, why the hell would you protect your daughter if the boy was younger? Yeah. You already gave her up way before the boy became crazy. So that doesn't make sense. So if that is the case and she is older than him, that doesn't fly with me at all. Like that whole storyline is even more inherently stupid. So yeah. So let's talk about the fact that nobody gives a shit about Mary. Nobody gives a damn about that girl. I feel so bad.
And she's like really showing out too, because
there's no way
she's not caring back.
She actually is not acting like she gives a shit anymore. But I mean, that's more of the Poison Ivy influence. But what's interesting to me is she walks up to Ryan. She's like, how come you didn't tell me, you didn't clean up. You didn't show this invite to Jada for dinner. Because apparently she got a formal invite to dinner. I don't know why, because she could have just had a text message. But, she had an actual delivered invite to her mother's house. And so Mary was in her feelings. But the whole time she's talking to them, she's chugging water because she's like choking. And this tells me that nobody in any part of this episode, the previous episode, or when she actually woke up in that damn park, asked this girl what happened. Ryan still has not talked to her about the fact that she woke up in the park. Nobody gives 5 shits. Luke was looking so annoyed when she was talking, like, why are you even here? I'm like, If they hook Mary and Luke up, I don't know. At this point, I'll be mad. Because it's toxic as hell right now. So you can't have a relationship with somebody who gets in their feelings when you tell them the truth about themselves.
Especially if they're talking about being hurt. And then you're like, shut up. We have crap to do.
And then your own suit, your daddy voice in your suit even says, you not ready, boy? Like, you still haven't apologized to Mary. Now it's a mess. But yeah, no one but Alice even knows what's happening to Mary. Alice was absolutely right. Unless they need her, they don't give a shit. They don't talk to her about anything. They don't tell her. She's not in on anybody's plans. The Bat team, like literally Sophie has replaced Mary on the Bat team, if you really call it that, which is so messed up because, again, let's go back to season 2. Who brought in Ryan? Who wanted Ryan to be Batwoman? Who convinced Luke to give her a chance? Who actually became her roommate and let her live in her place? And how did you reward Mary? By treating her like a zero non-concept, because that's great. You know who else used to do that? Ruby Rose's version of Kate Kane. You see where I'm going with this, guys?
She's Asian invisible.
So yeah, she is. But Mary, basically, her clinic now looks like a greenhouse. I mean, she's got plants every damn where.
I'm sure. What's her face likes it? What's her name?
Renee?
No, Batwoman.
Batwoman.
Actual name.
Oh, well, hell, Ryan should be excited about all those plants. She just hasn't been in the clinic. Oh, she just loved that one plant because her adopted mother gave it to her. But anyway, all right. So Mary basically is getting shit on. And I mean, unfortunately, I feel like that's her role. Mary stands for turd toilet that we poop in. I feel bad for her. I really like Mary's character, and she just, it's sad. It's very sad. But I mean, how she's talking about plants and stuff, that is classic Poison Ivy. The respect she has and all that is classic Poison Ivy. So she basically is becoming another Poison Ivy. We know that Poison Ivy is cast in this. What we don't know is she going to be in the present, or is she going to be in flashbacks? Because they've done something else I find amusing. They made it so Renee Montoya was in a relationship with Poison Ivy. And what universe? What's Poison Ivy? And you know what's so messed up? They name dropped Harley Quinn in this. And then they're talking about Harley Quinn. They're like, but they literally took a girl and put her with somebody else. So that now Renee Montoya, this really smart, does not take shit, kick-ass detective from GCPD in the comics, who eventually becomes the Question, is now reduced to a lovesick woman who feels guilty that she asked Batman, and I don't know how the hell she has a relationship with Batman, to bury her heifer alive. That's literally what I got out of that. She basically, and Alice called it out, you aren't giving a crap about us going to finding these Batman, artifacts. You basically just want us to go find your boo.
It's corrupt police work.
I love it when Kate Kane's ex-girlfriend is hooked up with a Batman villain that she's never been with. Makes everything story-wise track for me. The level of enthusiasm I have when I do Batwoman reviews, I'm pretty sure is off the chain. Alice is still having hallucinations. When she goes to talk to Mary about it, Mary just basically, well, may you weep with your soul, bitch. Basically is what she said. I was like, wow, okay.
Which is like why can't I think of her? Alice said, because you have your duty as, you have the profession of a doctor. And when you're a doctor, you set aside all bias that you have towards your patient, and you treat them as a patient, and you do your darndest to help them
do no
out.
harm.
So when your patient comes back to you and says, yeah, I'm having these things come back, these symptoms, and then your doctor says, you did it to yourself, I'm sorry, nothing I can do for you. It's like, oh, okay, lawsuit. That's what would happen in real life, but Mary gets a pass because I guess she's now Poison Ivy. That's the excuse that she gets to throw away.
Quite frankly, if they really have Poison Ivy, then she's either another Poison Ivy, or hell, maybe she's even turning into a plant. Who knows?
Or she's just like, you guys don't give a shit about me anymore, so I don't give a shit about any of you anymore, and I don't have to practice my morals with you. But if some Joe comes off the street, yes, I will save them.
So basically, I will say this was a more entertaining episode, only because I was rooting for Professor Pig. I was like, take them all out. But outside of that, guys, I mean, it's literally like, it's like they could have had a meeting where they outline what they wanted, instead of writing a show where they decide to incorporate Batman villains, but not really plan out how effectively they're going to do it. Again, an argument can be made that this is not the comic book verse. This is the Arrowverse. And we have seen that they have no problem connecting characters with either romantically, familially. They probably put you they literally will put you as a cousin or a sister or whatever. Like, the Flash is notorious for their kids being their grandkids, and their, and their, Wally being Iris's brother in the show, but actually is her nephew in the comics. I mean, they just like to mess it all up. I don't know why they get messy with this. I don't know what they accomplish from doing that. I don't know why it can't just be the way it is in the comics. If you want to make your own story, that's fine. But why do you have to split up connections of people together? It's just very strange. But it is what it is. But it's just the idea of Renee Montoya being Kate Kane's ex-girlfriend, screwing Poison Ivy in the past, and that becoming her motivation for her life to try and figure out her boo, if her boo is still alive, if her boo is causing problems. This whole trauma over her Poison Ivy which never effing happened in the comics or any other story I've ever seen with Renee Montoya. It doesn't make any damn sense to me. And then you name drop Harley Quinn, which is so weird when you know. Yeah. So yeah, basically my overall opinion of this show is, or this episode, we don't say show, that's a loaded gun. It was more entertaining than last week. It's still the same BS plot. Ryan is still Black Kate Kane. I don't give a shit what they do because the elements are too close. Having her have a sibling that is basically Alice, that was because of a meeting with the Joker. Yes, he became crazy because of the Joker, but it was still an outside force that made him insane or made him a sociopath and have no conscience. Alice, outside force. You see where I'm going with this? You being your sibling's keeper. It is literally, they're taking Kate's story, and instead of coming up with original shit, they're just adapting it for Ryan. And it's just stupid to me. It's really effing stupid. Because we all know if Wallace Day had been cast as Kate, Renee would have been her biatch. There would have been a love triangle between Renee and Sophie and her. We know this. We know that it would have played out closer to the comics if it had been that way. We all know this. But because they had to create an original character, instead of them giving her her own life, her own shit, her own drama, her own characters, and incorporate Bat characters in, they basically adapted Kate's, where they were going with season 2 and 3, they took it and they're like, well, we want to keep this shit. We're just going to make it blacker. That's literally what happened. And this is from a person of color saying this shit. That's exactly what they effing did. So that's what you're watching. Essentially, Kate Kane did not leave. She just got shorter and blacker.
Curly headed.
I mean, am I wrong? Just saying. But hashtag Bat Chaser, we get to say that now. So hallelujah. All right. So let's go to the comments because I know you guys have been saying some stuff. So let me start at the top. Now that she has outed herself as Supergirl, doesn't that mean that anyone who knows Kara is Clark's cousin now knows that he is Superman? Essentially, that should be the mode of thinking. And yay. Like, cannot
Which
wait.
means his kids are in danger.
All of them are in danger. Everybody that has a dual identity is in danger. Angry grandma can come out, especially with what went down. Thank you. I appreciate that. Look, I'm trying to save my blood pressure. I don't have high blood pressure, but I might. All right, so Kat knew Kara was Supergirl. The writers forgot. That tracks. I mean, maybe she just never told her, but I thought she did. I don't know why I thought she did. I don't know. I got so angry with Kara revealing herself. It was so stupid. There's a reason for secret identities, and Kara be like, there's no one to be herself with. But yes, there is. Lena knows Kara and Supergirl. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Everybody, all your friends know, your family know. Who else do you need? Like, I can't be myself unless the 5 million people, who watch Cat Cove, broadcast know that I'm Supergirl too. I am not happy unless my social media can be merged into one. Yeah, okay. She can't hang around Barry and other heroes and their civilian identities now. That's probably why she won't. I don't think she's in the crossover, is she? Lazy writing with Lena's magic. Absolutely. Hi, Kevin. How are you? Yeah, part 1 of the series finale was a hot mess. Hell, parts of part 2 were a hot mess. Esme is awesome. Yes, Esme is amazing. I love that little girl. Love was a bit much. Kara cared about William. Yeah, Kara, as I said in the review, Kara reacted the way somebody would react if their friend died. I mean, I think she even dated him. So, I mean, but the rest of them are like, yeah, that was a sacrifice. And I'm like, well, we'll deal with that later. Like, so sad. Brainy says, screw the timeline, just like Barry in the Legends. Well, let's be clear about Barry. Barry doesn't say screw the timeline. He just F's up the timeline. There's a difference. He goes in thinking, I'm not changing anything. And he comes out, yeah, I changed like everything. Sorry, my bad. Instances where the Flash has better writing than Supergirl for 300, Maria. Why are you doing this to me, Bar Allen? I like when Wells talks. Harrison Wells talks. I like Joe. Cecile's not bad either. So when they have lines, is that good? Cool. The only time in the show Supergirl has faced her equal was Rain. Where the fuck was Rain? Like, why couldn't Rain come back? You're right. And possibly Overgirl. I like Bizarro Kara. Lex's defeat in the season mirror was better than the series finale. I mean, they're just gonna go to the Phantom Zone. I don't care what happens to Lex. So I will say, Cryer's performance of Lex Luthor, he is up there as one of the best Luthors to me because he is an a-hole and he's really good at it. So he's a good Lex. It would be interesting to see him pop up on Superman and Lois. I would love to see how that tracks because it's interesting to me that he doesn't go and mess with Clark in Smallville anymore. He rolled over to Kara. And I'm like, why not? You literally can go to this town. They don't have any money. Clark doesn't have a job. Like, just go fuck with him. Like, that's the one who originally pissed you off from the from the get-go. We know what happened in the comics. If you read the Superboy comics, they were best friends. And there was like a chemistry experiment that Lex was doing, and it blew up, and Superboy called himself trying to save him, and he literally blew his super breath in the room, and it caused all of Lex's hair to fall out, and Lex at that point lost his damn mind. That's what it was. Rogaine wasn't good at a big thing back then, so yeah, he blamed Superboy for that, and it just went all downhill from there. So that was their original beef. So I don't know why he's not messing with Superman anymore. I have no idea. And plus, since Lex Luthor knows that Kara is Supergirl, then he by proxy should know that Clark Kent is Superman. Why aren't you using that? I mean, you saw it in Crisis. You were there in Crisis. You saw Lois Lane and the baby and Clark. I mean, it doesn't make sense when you are a villain and you are 10 steps ahead. Blast them, man. Hashtag guess who these folks are. I'm like, that's how you get them. Oh, it never made sense to me, guys. It never made sense to me. I don't. Let's see, where are we? Sorry. I am not surprised by the queer baiting, although I was also surprised that Kara stayed without Mon-El. Well, I think my spouse explained that very well. It's because she's married to Mon-El's actor in real life. That's literally the only reason he was in the show for the 4.5 minutes that he was there. He was there to put his cape out, stomp on the floor, and then tell Kara she's awesome, and it motivates them in the future. Peace out. See you at home, Melissa. I'm like, that's literally it. It's as if the CW was actively trying to piss off his audience with the way Supercorp was handling. Like I said, I stand by my comment that they are, I basically equate them to Gabrielle and Xena. Again, in the 90s, you could not be openly gay. It doesn't matter if, like, I remember watching an interview, I think on YouTube, when Renee and Xena's actress, who just went out of my head, why the hell did I just forget her name? They went to a convention and they were talking about the fact that they always felt that they were in a relationship. I think the writers did, but I think when they went to the network, which I kind of remember who they were on. I want to say it was UPN when they started airing it near the end of the series, but I can't remember what network they were on. But they went to the network heads and they were like, oh, nope, we can't have this queer stuff on TV. And so they would do it in subtle ways. But their subtle ways was very gay. I'm like, it was very gay. I'm like, I'm sorry, very, very gay. Saying, I love you, I will die without you, you completely, you are my soul, my heart, and my destiny, and kissing each other on the lips multiple times does not equate to BFFs. I don't kiss my BFFs on the lips. I love Jam. Jam's one of my best friends. You've seen her on this channel. I've never said, Brene, you complete me. You are my heart, my soul, my stars. I will go to the underworld for you. And then we make out. Like, that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. So, yeah, that is I can't really call it queer baiting. It just, they were not allowed to acknowledge it. They had to write stories where Xena and Gabrielle would sometimes hook up with men because they had to make it clear to the network that they weren't being gay, even though everything else and every other episode, they were gay as hell. Supercorp, they did something similar. No, they never kissed each other. But just go and look at their relationship, tracking from season 1 all the way to the end. They were a couple. I mean, the betrayal, the heartbreak, all of that is how you react to your lover effing you over. Not your BFF, your lover. They had more drama. They had more emotional baggage with each other than anybody else in the series that were in established relationships. It made no effing sense. When Jimmy and Lena were together, that relationship, if you compare her relationship to her and Kara's friendship, it makes no effing sense. I remember there's a scene where she goes to have pizza with Jimmy when he's acting editor of Catco. And she brings 5 pizzas. And he's like, that's a lot of pizzas. She's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so used to having lunch with Kara. And it's like everything that they did or everything they were motivated by or everything they got angry at from on were season 5 was very bad for them. Because they had all that drama with each other. Lena betrayed Kara. She felt Kara betrayed her by not telling her she was Supergirl, breaking her trust. All of this is what you do in relationships. And throughout that entire run, Jimmy and her did not have the type of drama and the type of character and relationship development that Lena got with her BFF. I'm just saying, it doesn't make any damn sense to me. It doesn't. Kelly and Alex didn't have that kind of development, and they're married now. So yeah, that's queer baiting at its finest. It really is. Where the heck was Argus? Was Cisco on vacation? Cisco's living his life, man. He's trying. He's like, I'm out of this. He's like, what's happening in the National City? Oh, yeah, she's Kryptonian. She got this. I'm not gonna worry about this. Not gonna worry about it. I only keep helping Barry because that's where I started. And think about it. Argus only helps Luke. I don't know who the hell Luke knows at Argus, but only help Luke with not anything bat related, but with the company. Which, by the way, Wayne, the company's still in trouble. They're losing stocks and they're in the red. I don't know if this doesn't bring Batman back. I don't know what will. Your company is crashing. Come home. Let's see. That doesn't count. That was the putty monster that slept with Lex. I'm done with that. I don't even want that visual. Why was she doing that in the middle of the city instead of in space? Who knows? Why do they do anything in the middle of the city? Look, there is a law that we want to protect the people of Earth, but we will destroy you in your own cities. It happens in every genre. It happens in Power Rangers all the damn time. Super Sentai, if you watch the Japanese version. It happens, in Godzilla movies. It happens in any area where people are just going to smack down fight. They do it in the middle of the damn city. Look how much damage Man of Steel caused. Half of the city is dead. I don't care what anybody says. So, I mean, yeah, it's just, it's not their fault. It's a learned behavior. Nixley she got screwed. She's screwed. But Mixie is going to give Alex and Kelly a present as long as it's a $40 value and under. Didn't Brainy break time just being in the past in the first place? Yeah, you would think so. But you know what? Arrowverse rules don't apply to everybody. If this had been the Flash, that would have been different. But definitely speaking, though, their kids are in the past. And so them knowing their kids' names and everything that's going on with their kids in the future, they keep saying, don't tell us anything. But by me telling you my name and standing here, I've already effed you. So, yeah. And I mean, let's be clear. Wynn was dropping some future knowledge, nobody's business. Oh, the DOA is going to be great in the future. Don't worry. Your son told me that. Congratulations, Martian Manhunter. But I didn't tell you that because I don't want to tell you anything about the future that Brainy says hasn't been written yet. So in actuality, by Brainy being in the past with Nia, does that not negate everything that happens in the future? Because he's causing it not to happen by not going and doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, him and Big Brain need to be merged, right? So by not happening, is he not essentially taking all of their future and taking a poop on it? Is he pulling a Barry Allen? Is he making his own? I mean, if you really think about it, that's possibly what's happening. He's decided he's going to make his own Flashpoint, but he's going to be called Brainy Point. I mean, like I said, you can get away with anything you want when it's the series finale because they just all go home and they don't have to listen to you anymore. So that's it. When you want to end the series and you don't give a shit, it's like, this is what I do what I want. And yellow chickens flew out the ass. Bam, I'm gone. I was actually surprised that she didn't get a redemption. Me too, because they redeem everybody. So, I mean, that's really stupid. Lex will return in Superman and Lois. Of course he will. Of course. Did I miss a Legends review? I don't know. Yeah, but will it be the same actor? I hope so. John Cryer's really good as Lex Luthor. I hope they don't cast another Lex. The Super Friends didn't even defeat them. They defeated themselves. They brought the fans back just so they could be defeated by them. It makes sense. I mean, to be fair, I mean, let's be clear. This is completely on point for most Arrowverse fights. So it's usually somebody else or something else that defeats them and not the actual people themselves. So makes sense. Legend is crack and should not be taken seriously. Absolutely. So Clark knew Kara was fighting Nixley, a fifth dimensional being, and God level Lex and still didn't show up. Hey, it takes a lot, Bart Allen, to figure out how to run the farm that you grew up on, that you have one tractor for, that you don't have any crops down for. You don't have the gas money, man. You can't just roll up in National City flying. That's not going to track. And now he can never go to National City ever again because people will be like, that's your cousin? Oh, Clark Kent is Superman. Like, motherfucker. They better say something about this in Superman and Lois. Lois better be on the phone. Car, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you listening to Cat Grant? I am so is it pissed or posses? What are you, Ray? We Supergirl very didn't have the coverage to do what Nickelodeon did with the same exact character dynamic and power set with Supergirl having way more romantic hint than Cora. Well, I get why Korrasami got burned out thrown up under the bus. It's because Nickelodeon said, hell no, we don't want to have queer characters on a children's cartoon. And then when they decided to put it online the last season, they said, well, hell, just go for it because the series ending is the last one. And the only thing they did was hold hands and stare at each other. Now, if you read the comic spinoffs, the two series, Turf Wars and what's the other one? I own them and I forgot the name of the second one. Something Ruins. I think it's Ruins of the Empire is what it's called. They kiss each other. It's very much implied that Cora and Asami have sex because they sleep in the same bed. And Cora was even at some point looked like she was trying to get it on with Asami. So like they've made up for it in the comics. Let's put it that way. And then they have Avatar Studios. So more than likely we will see a lot more adult stuff. But who knows? I apologize for this person who really wants people to go to this bot in here, this webcam HD, who really needs people to go take their clothes off in the webcam. I apologize. I blocked them, but they seem to be coming back with different IP addresses. So if you see it, I do apologize. I'm surprised that someone actually paid attention. That was like, this isn't right. I think Ava, with her relationship with the Legends, have been relaxed more and just go with the crazy, like with any of them who meets them. I think it might be she was tired. I'm going to give Ava this. Ava's usually on point, but I just thought it was really interesting. The one time she messes up is when they're out in public, in the 20s, I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. Let's see. Block. Okay. Clark was busy fighting Kryptonians and dysfunctional hybrid sons and his wife's interdimensional baby daddy enemy turned ally. He is busy and impressed. Well, we don't know that though, because we don't know that's the problem that I have. We don't know the timeline between any of this shit. Like we don't understand. Like this whole crossover that I know I'm going to have a headache about starting next week. We don't know where that is in anybody's timeline. I know Black Lightning is going to be in it, but is this post his show? Is it during his show? Like, is he dealing with Tobias stuff right now? I don't know at what point, because as far as we know, Black Lightning said he retired. So if Black Lightning is there in full garb, is this, what time period is this? Is this pre-crisis, post-crisis? I mean, what is it? We know what it is for Barry, but what is it for Black Lightning? So when they do this shit and they establish this stuff in their series finale and then they throw everybody back together again, it's like all the stuff you did in your show doesn't matter. It didn't happen. We don't give a shit. You need to be in this crossover. Everything you do in this crossover, it's like Las Vegas. What happens in the crossover stays in the crossover. And then you go home and you don't talk about it anymore. Like, that's basically what it is. I love how nobody sees that Constantine and the Father Time Travel look alike. I love that. Like, you look so familiar. I'm calling it now. Gideon killed that man with that rock. Yeah, probably. She hit him hard too. And then rolled him up the car. Why not? Dang, Supergirl went to another level with her attacks on the sun level to save the people. I really was impressed with her hard-nosed approach to do that to end the conflict. The problem is that she didn't end the conflict. Giving up universal power for a child that would die anyway, once that power was given, made no sense. And that should have gotten Alex kicked off Super Friends. She is clearly compromised. Yeah, she's... Yeah, I actually did not like Alex at all in episode 19. And she was completely hypocritical because you literally just told your sister you did not have faith in her saving your kid. And then right before your wedding, she's like, I believe in you. I've always believed in you. You've always followed the right path. I'm like, if I was her, I'd be like, but you didn't think that when I had those totems with your hand. I'm like, where was the faith then? Why weren't you down my path then? Am I just stupid? It's stupid. Technically, Gideon is the true OG. I do agree with that. Oh no, the Legends messed up again. I mean, to be fair, there's not a time they don't. So I mean, but their mess ups are cute. If the Legends are in the mix, Germany, they should run into Wonder Woman. They won't. They'll probably name drop Wonder Woman though. I want to see Gideon become a technopath. So do I. The actor was completely different as Marcos on Vampire Diaries. Huh. I'll have to check out. There's so many later seasons of Vampire Diaries that I'm behind on. I've read like the original book series when I was in high school. But because a lot of people don't realize that Vampire Diaries predates that Twilight series. They always think that Vampire Diaries, because it came out on CW, that I guess it was WB, that I don't remember, that it like stole a lot of the stuff from Twilight. And like, you guys have no idea that stuff came out when I was in high school, and I've been out of high school for what, 25 years. So, I mean, yeah, there was no Twilight when I was in school. I don't think Xena was queer baiting because the writers and actors viewed them as a couple and made them soulmates, but because of the time they had to use subtext, but really loud. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm not saying they were queer baiting. I'm saying Supercorp is queer baiting because they remind me, like they really remind me of Xena and Gabrielle, only they don't admit it. They don't consider it. Like, no, I don't even know if the actors even consider it, Supercorp a thing, to be honest with you, which makes no sense because the writer, there was this person that I saw do an interview, an entertainment writer who literally said, I watched Supergirl and I became a Supercorp fan because of the writing. And he's like, I see why people are upset because if you look at it from a writer standpoint, it's queer baiting. It absolutely is. When you put somebody's life as an importance of their life above yours to the point where you cannot see yourself living without them, that goes beyond being a BFF. Yes, you can have very close BFFs, brothers, sisters, whatever, but they've never shown Lena and Kara to be like Alex and Kara. Had they done that, I've been like, oh, these are the Charm sisters. One's now a witch. It tracks. They never put Lena in the same type of bonding and closeness relationship that her and Alex had in terms of being a family or familial. They put Lena in the type of Kara situation where Kara, when she was going to go home, or Monel was going to try and convince her to go with him and run away with him, she wouldn't go with him. But and she was like, I can't, no, he was in danger. She was like, I got to go save him, blah, blah, blah. And she did. And she took a little time. She got to him. When Lena was in danger, she was with her mother, who she didn't even know was alive. She's like, I got to go save my friend. I'm like, true. Lena had a button that she would push. And the car was just there. What was it? Was it Goliath? The episode with Goliath where she's on the hill and like she jumps off the hill. Like she pushes the button, she throws herself off the hill, and Kara is instantly effing there. That girl Mach 5 to get to Lena. So I mean, like I said, it doesn't make sense. That's stuff that Xena would do with Gabrielle. Like Xena went to hell to get Gabrielle back, and we all know if Lena was trapped in another world, good and well that Kara would be in there trying to get in that damn world to get her out. Period. And she'd be more upset and more determined if it had been even her own damn sister. And we all know this is true. So yeah, it doesn't make sense. It's complete queer baiting. It's sad. It is really sad. The Legends can get away with more because it's sitcom-y tone. I agree with that. They're just silly. I love it. It is surprising that Mary, the ignored doctor, who the team are treating terribly, is infected by poison ivy, and Alice is the only one who notices. No, it's not. I mean, seriously, they don't care. They don't care about Mary. Literally, it's hashtag who's Mary. That is her tag on Batwoman. Who's Mary? Like, I bet you they ask themselves that sometimes when she walks in the room. For a minute, they're like, who's this? I'm like, Batwoman is to the CW DC shows as Tito Jackson is to the Jackson 5. You're not wrong. That's a good analogy. It's a very good one. Bat Chaser. Bat Chaser is such a good one. I have coined that. If anybody else uses that on any streams, any YouTube reviews, you guys know who did that first. Another episode of As the Ryan Turns and Bat Chaser and the rest of us. Yay, mercenary! I need to make some t-shirts. I should be supporting my channel. Like, the name of the show needs to be changed to Bat Chaser. I agree. I absolutely agree. Logic fail on Batwoman. What a surprise. I think you have to have logic to fail, though, right? Also, Luke just vanished. Well, Luke is not getting in the suit, but they decided not to tell anybody this episode because this was about, we had to understand that Jada gave up Ryan because Marcus is Alice. And we also had to understand that googly eyes had to have been had and flirting and all this stuff has to be had between Ryan and her Bat Chaser. That is what you needed to understand about this episode. That's it. That's it. That is literally it. So what happened to him? Nothing. He's just sitting home. I feel like Ryan was not. As a matter of fact, just so you know, I think it's very odd that Luke was talking to Sophie and the signal went out. And I didn't put this in my review. I forgot. And he never called for help. He never called the GCPD to go check him out, do a courtesy check, a wellness check.
Well,
nothing.
Say that somebody will show up sometime.
But I mean, Luke was literally on comms with Sophie and it cut out. He should have known something was wrong. He did not investigate or send help at all. But again, Arrowverse writing. Just saying. There's something about Mary. Well, Mary got a lot more play in that movie. Everybody wanted Mary in that movie. I have a theory that the writers are high on every damn thing when they write Batwoman scripts. I would go with that, but I have some friends that get high, and I feel like they get a lot more creative and intelligent. So I don't really know if I can even equate that to being high. Maybe they're depressed. Maybe they can't agree on what they want to write, so everybody writes something. They just take stuff from everybody's script and put it all together, like a puzzle that isn't meant to go together. Poor Mary. Yeah, she really... I feel so bad for her. I love that her actress, I follow her on Instagram, and she hangs out with Wallace Day all the time. Like, they even went to a movie or something, and like, I think Wallace Day still hangs out with Sophie's actress and also with Alice's actress. So all three, I guess all four of them bonded. The only people I never see Wallace Day with is Ryan and Luke. I don't know what that says. So, and I don't think it's a race thing because she has a lot of friends, like really close friends on her Instagram, and they are people of color, and a lot of them are exclusively Black. So I don't know what that says. I'm just saying that I just found that interesting. A lab monkey escaped and broke into the writer's room. I think a lab monkey would have written a better script. Alice and Mary, the only two characters in Batwoman that are good. I absolutely agree with this. I mean, I like Sophie. Honestly, I don't know why they didn't make Sophie Batwoman. She's the same height as Kate. Like, she's tall. I mean, she would have reached those damn EpiPens. Like, I don't understand.
She needed a job.
Because they have nothing for Sophie to do now but be a bat chaser. She has nothing. She has no job. I don't know how she pays her rent, but again, she's got that CW hookup too. They don't know. Arrowverse just pays for shit. CW in general pays for shit. I don't know how this girl pays her rent. I don't know how she eats. I don't know how she can afford clothes. She got all dolled up with makeup. She's living in this apartment watching TV, but who's paying the electric bill?
Wayne
I don't know.
Wayne Enterprises can't if it's in the red.
Yep. I don't know where she's getting this money from. So, I mean, I will believe for a minute that she may have savings, but she don't have that much. So, yeah, I think it's interesting. Anyway, let's just join. How were the shows? To summarize, Ryan, Supergirl had moments that were okay and that I didn't mind, that I liked. And then moments where I'm like, yep, it's Arrowverse, let it go. So it to me was a lackluster. That's a good word. It was a lackluster ending for me. They could have done a lot more. It was very rushed for me. Legends is silly, will always be silly. I don't have problems with that. And Batwoman is the same train wreck it has been for a while. So, yeah. Do you think that Mary may become the CW version of the Gardener? I think that might be what they're trying to do, honestly. But again, I mean, I would like for Mary to become a villain. And I think that she would have a lot of merit because she's treated like shit. So when they start saying, Mary, we need you, she'll be like, when? When the hell do you need me? You don't know me. You don't even talk to me. I told you that I literally woke up in a park and you still haven't asked me what the hell happened. I'm literally choking to death, drinking water in front of me. You're not asking me what's wrong. You're living your lives. I'm going to live my life and I'm going to try to kill your ass. And that's literally what's going to happen. And you know what? She'd be better for it. So maybe she can knock off Ryan and Luke, and then Sophie becomes Batwoman, and then bam, show fixed. Do you think that Mary may become the CW version? I think I read that one. Sorry, it get repeated. I was expecting the live on Saturday. I know I'm going to be doing another video, and I am going to be doing Yashahime, but I also have voice work. So I told you guys this stuff gets it's messing with my schedule. The best part about the Supergirl finale was the wedding scene stuff and the Lena scene. I mean, I like some of the Lena scene. I must say Alex and Kelly had way better wedding outfits than Macy and Harry. Oh, don't get me started on Macy's hair. As somebody who has naturally curly hair, I was offended. Offended. I'm like, you people do not have POC people working on their hair. There's no fucking way I believe this at all. At all, because her hair should not have looked like that. She looked like she stuck her hand into a damn electric socket and became the new Frankenstein's bride.
Maybe that's why she left.
Because her hair. Maybe.
Don't touch my hair like that.
I like John Cryer as Lex, but I feel like he was overused on Supergirl. I mean, he needed to make that money. Maybe he was the one that didn't care about, working during COVID. Lena was dressed for a different event, not a wedding. Hey, she was coming off Project One Way. She's like, I'm rich. I need you to know that I can do my own thing. And plus, she wore all black because she knew that the friend bomb was going to be dropped by Kara. She was wearing an outfit for her own relationship's funeral, potentially. So I get what she was doing. I'm on track. I liked it. It was very hot. Yeah, she did look like she should be in The Craft. Lex knows Clark is Superman. See Crisis, Tom Welling meeting and John Cryer. Yeah, I know. But my thing is he never used it. They don't use it. I feel like if Supercorp was real and the relationship was well written, Supergirl would not be canceled. I don't think it was canceled. I think Melissa decided not to do it anymore because she just had a baby. The gay video on Supercorp explains why Lena and Kara were basically written like a couple without the writers wanting to acknowledge that as a canon relationship, Xena and Gabrielle 2.0. Exactly. Which is campier, Arrowverse or Power Rangers? Legends of Tomorrow is campier than Power Rangers. Power Rangers as a whole is campier than the rest of Arrowverse. Asami/Lena and Corey/Kara should have and seen. And what is up with Brainy? So does this cause Brainiac to be a thing because he is not part of the collective as a time consequence? I don't know what the hell they did with that. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know. UPN, I believe, then USA, and then Sci-Fi. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it started on UPM, Ray. Xena did. Because I remember watching Hercules, and I never liked Kevin Sorbo. I'm sorry, I never did. And now that I've seen some of his politics, I still don't. I mean, I get why I don't like him. Something about him always rubbed me the wrong way. But his partner in that, Eustace or something, Eula, whatever his name was, he was the male Gabrielle before we had Xena and Gabrielle. I liked him. And I liked the crossover where Gabrielle and him met. But I've always been a bigger Xena fan. I didn't really care for Hercules that much. But yeah, I think that the network said, no, that's too gay. And then they're like, all right, we're just going to put it in every line, every situation. I did like how Supergirl ended. I'm sorry. I don't agree with Kara revealing herself because it really seems like it's like the argument with COVID when people are like, I don't want to wear a mask. Forget the whole vaccine debate. Go to the original, I don't want to wear a mask. By you saying you have a freedom not to wear your mask, and it's my personal choice, that's fine. But if you infect somebody else, you've also made it their personal choice that they didn't have a choice in making. It's also like when you're around somebody who smokes, whether you smoke or not, if it's secondhand smoke, that person can get lung cancer right along with you, and they never lit up. That is how I feel in terms of Kara's decision. It didn't just affect her. If she was the only superhero on Earth, then that's fine. Do you, boo? You don't care about them knowing your address and knocking on your door at night because you know they would. Then fine. But by you doing that, you've literally essentially put everybody around you not only in danger, you've also made it where superheroes around you feel kind of pressured to live their authentic selves too by coming out as who they really are. And we saw how that worked in Civil War in the Marvel universe. Just saying. I like how the only good writing that Supergirl has, Supercorp, it was an accidental or not on purpose, and they deny its existence. Pretty much. I mean, you're not wrong. There are people married who don't have those kind of declarations, love, respect, and appreciation. That was the most beautiful love ever in CW, and CW is known for his romance-based soaps. Who are we talking about, Ray? I'm confused. Please tell me. The Batwomanette. Then Sophie will get her own spinoff. I would love, like I said, I told you how I wanted Ryan to come in. I told you this a million times about her being with GCPD and being, burned out or upset with the corruption. Maybe her partner was killed by Alice, which is why she has beef. She became, she went into she either became a private eye or she became something where she was investigating or hired by Mary or hired by them to see if Kate was really dead. And that's how she found the bat suit possibly. And then she ended up coming back to them saying, what the hell is this? And then they had no choice but to tell them that, she was Batwoman, and then her becoming Batwoman organically. That would have worked for me. If you didn't want to do that, then have Sophie become Batwoman because she already knew Kate was Batwoman. And then she did it as an homage to her dead girlfriend. And then when her girlfriend came back, she said, I love you. I know we can't be together, but just hold down the fort. Here is my suit. And then Wallace Day can come over for booty calls and then leave on her. And then that would attract for me. All of this other shit that they're doing, it is literally so soap opera. It kind of delves into Maury Povich of Who's Your Daddy and Jerry Springer of What the Hell You Slept With Your Cousin. That's literally how I feel right now. It's Bat, Jerry, Springer, Povich. Woman. It's just stupid. Even though Luke is the only canon character in Batwoman main cast, I would rather see Sophie suit up as she is the most equipped for it of the cast and makes most sense, especially post Kate Kane. But Sophie's also canon. She actually is in the Batwoman system. Her pilot episode of how they both went to school together or went to West Point together, and she did not do she did sign the Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That is valid. That actually happened to Kate Kane in the comic book. So Sophie is a real character, and that was essentially her very first girlfriend. So Sophie and Luke are both canon. Now Ryan and Mary are made up. The show really should be Sophie, Alice, and Mary, the legit heirs to Kate legacy. I know, bringing this Ryan thing in there is effing stupid. Kara and Lena. I don't know. Like I said, as a queer woman, I find queer baiting offensive. I feel like it's a waste of time. Like I said, I am not a hardcore Supercorp shipper because I guess I have the knowledge going in of having experienced from Arrow how convoluted and BS they treat LGBT characters. When you look at Mr. Terrific and his husband left him because he wouldn't talk about his dual identity. They never revisited it. We probably saw his husband maybe 2 or 3 times in the whole damn series, and they called that progress. So you go from that, and if you really start tracking down the lines of all the LGBT relationships, then you will understand why I have issues. Riverdale is notorious for doing this. Riverdale will have a male coupling and a female coupling, and they will literally be the most dysfunctional shit. And they end it so drastically, and it's just all over the place. But yet the heterosexual people just screw each other like all the time. And it doesn't make any sense. And so I'm so effing burned out on Arrowverse and CW as a whole with their dare fucking to defy, views on how people of color and LGBT people are represented. Because I'm sorry, they aren't. They are not represented well. They are absolutely not. Every Black character that's not on a predominantly Black show on the CW is either a side character or is a character that is a criminal or has a very shady past, or they come in such a bullshit, convoluted way, and they're written horribly that do not reflect the entire population of people in this country. But yet they think they're doing something because your skin is brown or your skin is Black. That is literally what they do. They think because you're queer and they put you in the show, it doesn't matter that like Ruby and Mel over on Charmed, that we do a fucking U-Haul relationship, which is the most stereotypical thing you can find in the LGBTQ community. And they're playing it up like a damn love story. And people accept this because at least we get to see ourselves on TV. I don't see myself on TV. I'm in a marriage. So I don't know what the fuck is going on with this show. My trans male spouse and me, we make out all the damn time. Guess what, Brainy and Nia? You can do that too, but you can't because you're in an Arrowverse show. This is the problem that I have with representation on the Arrowverse and the CW as a whole when it comes to LGBTQ and POC. We're living in an age where if you look at from an Asian scope, not only are they always invisible, you also have to look at the scope of, which is really interesting to me, that they are still being blamed for COVID, even if they've lived in the States their entire damn lives. And the one character that's getting the shaft right now is Mary, the only Asian character on the whole damn show. It's stupid. So I just, no, I'm sorry. I don't subscribe to that shit. I'm not going to. If you want me to be excited about POC and LGBTQ plus representation, then give me some stories that actually represent us. And then I won't be as hard. But until you do, I'm sorry. And I know this offends people, especially in the Black community. I am half Black. You know this. My dad's Black and Native American, two of the most disrespected and, as far as I'm concerned, mistreated and genocidal people in this country, and they get no rep. And so when you give us stories and you say, hey, we're giving you a Black female superhero, I'm a chick, I claim my Blackness, I'm excited. What the fuck is this? This is Kate Kane Black skin. Do not get in your feelings when I call that shit out, because that's what it is. You are not representing us. You are just putting a woman who Black skin in a prominent role and then giving her a white storyline and then getting in your feelings when we say shit about it. So whatever, it's fine. That's just how it is. That's pretty much all I got. You got anything, babe? I need you to talk. I don't want you to be like Mary and I'm shutting the Asian down.
I mean, I'm good.
You good? You all right? You cool with the situation? All right, Levi's got one more comment, and then I think we're at an hour and 47 minutes. Woo, we've been partying. Ryan and Marcos or whatever are going to be Kate and Alice 2.0. Marcus. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I said in this review. They had to give her more Kate storyline. So they had, not only did they make her rich from a rich mama, basically, because she's from a rich mama. They gave her, instead of having a sister, basically she has a brother. And that brother is essentially Alice. that's
So are Alice and Marcus going to be friends, or are they going to be pitted against each other because Alice is supposed to be helping?
Wow, they'll probably try and kill each other. He'll probably try to kill her, and she'll be like, self-defense. I'm just going to cut out your heart and cut your face off and make a mask out of it. Which, you know what? I'm going to say this, guys. This is my psychicness. Okay, you ready? Marcus's storyline is going to play out one of two ways. He either has to die, and Jada probably is going to hate Ryan forever, or he's going to have a redemption arc, even though I'm pretty certain he killed his dad. And he's probably going to kill other people, or at least try to kill people, because he is Ryan's brother. They're going to fix him and everything's going to be fine. And Alice is still going to be the person that everybody dumps on, even though she went through all of that shit.
It's just a matter of, is he a long storyline or a really quick one like they like to do?
Yep. I mean, he could end up being like Ocean and just, you came in to make out with Alice, have some flashback scenes and die. I'm like, great storytelling. Yeah. That's how it is. Again, I apologize for the webcam HD, whatever the hell's happening in here, because I've been trying to block them when they pop up. I'm gonna have to try and go back in my security settings on these streams because this is crazy. But yeah, I want to know. Continue this conversation. Tell us in the comments what you thought of all of these shows, and if you liked what I was saying, if you didn't like what I was saying, put it in the comments. I mean, you know, everybody's free to have their opinion. Just don't get nasty with it because I'm gonna block you because I've done it. And please, guys, I'm letting you know this now. I don't have time. I don't have fortitude. I don't have anything really to tolerate, put up with, or stop laughing at the fact that people call me out on my hatred of Black people when I'm part my hate of Black people when I'm fucking Black because I don't like Batwoman. If you say shit, I'm just letting you know. I'm not even gonna to try and debate you on it anymore. I'm gonna be like, this is stupid. I'm just gonna block you. I mean, you're just gonna go. So you're wasting your finger power because your comment will go and you will go, and that's it. Because that's how I lost
a personal attack.
I lost. I had to lose another subscriber who's been on my channel for a while because of the fact that I apparently hate Black people. I don't know where that's coming from because I essentially would be hating myself. So, and I don't hate myself, so that's stupid. Just throwing that out there. I love you guys. Thank you for being a part of Arrowverse. Again, on Saturday, we're definitely having our Arrowverse, our Yashahime. I'm probably going to do it as a video and not a stream. So I'm going to be posting a review on that. Hopefully, I will be able to start posting my spotlights on Friday. So we will see. And I am working on a trash comic with Joe. So we're going to aim for this week, but I'm going to have to check it. His baby was sick. And like I said, they're in Japan. So our time is always drastically different. So I will let you know, but we're working on our next one. So it should be interesting. Next week's review, I believe, is going to be a crossover review.
I'm scared.
Should be lovely. Should be lovely. Whether I do it that night or I do it the next day, I'm going to try and do it the day after the crossover. So bear with me. And yeah, but outside of that, if it is day for you, have a very good day, guys. If it is night for you, have a very good night. And we will see you in the next video, stream, and crossover.